I'm hitting the road again for more grand days out around our beautiful country.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing.
And as always, taking me every mile of the way, my hard-working little camper van. Named after one of my favourite people, Helen Mirren.
Are you happy, Helen? Yes, I'm having a lovely time.
She's the perfect travelling companion. For great adventures on foot.
I've got my own boat.
All across the country. I'll be going all out.
What a treat.
To find stunning places.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Explore hidden treasures.
Nick, look at this place.
And meet wonderful people.
They're very good, Jimmy.
It's a celebration of some amazing sights.
Oh, I love it.
Both big.
It's the vastness of it.
And small. So come and join me. On my grand days out. This time, I'm in the heart of the country.
Right in the centre.
In lovely Lancashire and Morecambe Bay.
My goodness, you can see forever.
Where community spirit is strong.
And a great double act was born.
And so are some of the locals.
I tell you what, I am taking you down.
I'll fall under the spell of this impressive county.
And I probably have been accused of being a witch.
Most definitely.
And all it has to offer.
I've never felt more like I'm in Florida in my life.
With their contrasting landscapes, historic landmarks and quirky traditions, Lancashire and Morecambe Bay have a treasure trove of gems to explore.
Lots of blue sky coming out.
The county is also teeming with legends from both on-screen and behind the scenes. And what I've always heard about the north of England is there's a real sense of community spirit.
We're on the road again, exploring somewhere we've never been, which is the gorgeous county of Lancashire. What I really want to do is find some people to chat to, though. I want to find out what's at the heart of this lovely place.
So first I need to make a plan, and where better to do that than one of Lancashire's most iconic monuments? The Ashton Memorial in Lancaster.
This incredible building is known around here as the Taj Mahal of the North. It was built by a millionaire industrialist called Lord Ashton in memorial to his wife, Jessie. And you can see it from miles around. I tell you what, it's even more impressive up close.
Lord Ashton was known as the Lino King, having made his money in textiles and what was then the must-have flooring, linoleum. Built in 1909, the memorial stands at 150 feet tall. So it's the perfect place to plot my journey.
My goodness, on a day like this, you can see forever. I love it when I come to one of these places and they've got little plaques and little arrows so you can see where different things are. Castle's over there. Oh, it is there? Oh dear, it's like I don't believe them. Then there's the church and Castle Bridge. There is a sign and arrow pointing towards Morecambe, and that's handy because that's where I'm going. So let's take a look at the map.
From here, I'm heading to Morecambe Bay, then travelling up along the coast a little, before going on a giant loop, crisscrossing the county from the southern end to the north, whilst taking in the delights of the Ribble Valley and the intriguing villages just outside it, before looping back up to where I started, in Morecambe.
The sun is shining. Let's get going.
Get ready, Helen. It's set to be an action-packed trip.
Whoa! Ew. Adding my own sound effects for added Helen fun. Ew. I'm only going at 20 miles an hour, don't worry.
It feels like I'm racing, though, as I'm beside myself about my first stop. Morecambe Bay may be known for its beautiful coastline, fishing and award-winning promenade, but it was also home to a true comedy legend.
What you're witnessing here is a woman who can barely contain her excitement. This is where probably my favourite comedian was born. He loved it so much he changed his name. It's, of course, Eric Morecambe from the duo Morecambe and Wise.
Born here in 1926, John Eric Bartholomew's love of performing started with dance. He went on to become one half of one of Britain's most famous double acts. In 1977, the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show was watched by 28 million people, half the UK population at the time.
I think this statue in the famous Bring Me Sunshine pose just captures him perfectly. Bring Me Sunshine is so important to me. It was the first dance at my wedding. It's probably my favourite song. I got my high scores on Strictly dancing to it.
It was such a joyful dance. It'll always be a cherished memory.
You know, when you look at it, you might not notice, first of all, is there's a pair of binoculars around his neck, and that's because bird watching was one of his favourite hobbies. It's something he really loved. And he loved it so much, in fact, there's a very special tribute to him just down the coast.
Home to the largest stretch of intertidal mudflats and sand in the UK, Morecambe Bay's estuary attracts 250,000 birds each year, making it one of the finest bird-watching spots in the country, and perfect for amateurs like Eric.
This gorgeous place is Leighton Moss and Morecambe Bay Nature Reserve, and this is a hide dedicated to his memory by the RSPB.
RSPB manager John Carter is also a massive Eric Morecambe fan.
Hi, John.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
And like Eric, John has loved this part of the world since he was a child.
Did you enjoy watching Morecambe and Wise?
I loved it. He didn't have to do anything to make me laugh. I just love the guy, yeah. And it's a really nice connection to have that.
He loved his birds, didn't he?
Yeah. Again, he grew up here, you know, he had access to it. It was part of his kind of daily life.
This must have been quite a lovely thing to do to get away from being as famous as he was.
Yeah. I guess it must have been a really nice place to go to.
Yeah.
I can see why. The nature reserve's coastal marshes attract flocks of waders like avocets and curlews. So to help me get a bit closer to the action, John's got a very special surprise for me.
They're not just any old pair of binoculars.
Right.
These are courtesy of the family, Eric Morecambe's binoculars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he would have used these?
He would, yeah.
The ability to touch something that Eric Morecambe used is quite a staggering thing. This is more priceless than a Fabergé egg.
I think so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we will give them back. I mean, you know.
Listen, it's okay, you can frisk me on the way out.
Although I'm speedier than I look, and I could have these away in a jiffy.
I bet avocets look even better through those, don't they?
They certainly look funnier. One of them was wiggling its glasses at me. I don't know whether that's deliberate.
Spring is mating season, so birdsong fills the skies as local birds battle it out with new arrivals to stake their breeding ground.
It's a beautiful thing to see. And I suppose it changes with every season, doesn't it?
It does change. And then, you know, then there'll be eggs, then there'll be chicks, then there'll be predators coming in, then there'll be, you know, the birds that fledge, and then it just changes, and those birds moving through.
So it's a terminus for migration, north and south.
Yeah.
It's, I was going to say, it's like T-Bay, you know. John, thank you so much for showing me this incredible place, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to Eric Morecambe for absolutely everything.
Just like Eric, I love being at one with nature. And I've heard that around an hour south of here, there's a like-minded bunch who also enjoy walking or even wading on the wild side, just outside the town of Darwin.
This is a lovely little road, this one. It's windy, but not too windy. Do you know what I mean? There's a little bit of fun, but not too much fun. It's like a good night out. Ooh, what's going to happen? You're in safe hands, you know.
And that's just how I feel about the next part of my journey. I've done my fair share of outdoor swimming, but here they do it a bit differently.
Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
When Elaine's Lancashire Stay Wild swim group get together, it's more like a disco in the water.
So I personally am a huge fan of wild swimming. What is it for you that you really get away from it?
The whole buzz, the friendship, you come away, you feel like the whole stress of your day is gone. You get in the water and you get that ah moment. So you might hear it today.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, the ah
Mine's
moment.
The ah moment. I don't know.
You get a few of them. It's a proper
Elaine's wild swimming community grew from 40 to 1,400 within a few months, which might have something to do with the bells and whistles involved.
What's happening over here?
So today we're going to do spring break.
Spring break?
Spring break, yes.
I tell you something, Elaine, I've never felt more like I'm in Florida in my life.
So
in
what's the difference?
Lancashire, in a bit of drizzle, with some inflatable flamingos.
Yeah, with some inflatable flamingo.
Elaine thinks it's about 8 degrees in the water, but you wouldn't know it from the accessories.
There you go.
Oh, I tell you what, it's like being in Hawaii.
There you go.
And I'm all set to head into the rather refreshing reservoir.
Oh, I don't know. How is it? Tropical! It's like an all-inclusive.
I promise you I'm having fun, really. And now I'm in, I'm staying in. In wild water, the inflatables aren't for riding on, just for added spring break atmosphere.
It's a little bit chilly. You do get used to it very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right, it's tropical.
If you're tempted to give the tropical waters a try, it's best to be safe and never do it alone. It's more fun in a group anyway. Who needs Florida when you can have a disco dip in Darwin? Despite the cooler climate, it really does feel like you're part of something special. Coming up, I'm tempted by the local delights.
If you could just keep a couple of those cakes
Of
for me
course.
for later on.
Of course we will.
And I hunt out one of Lancashire's most quirky traditions.
It's like Fight Club, don't talk about the Scarecrows.
You got it.
I'm having a particularly grand day out around Lancashire and Morecambe Bay with one of my favourite ladies, Helen Mirren.
Perfect road this for driving.
And I can see why the area's varied landscapes have provided the best backdrops for all sorts of TV shows and films.
I'm a huge movie buff. I love nothing more than spending hours watching classic films. Huge fan of the horror genre. I'm also a bit of an old romantic though, so I love a black and white film about tortured romance and unrequited love.
So, to indulge my passion, I'm calling in at the setting for what's considered one of the best romantic films of all time, in the small railway town of Korth.
I have been so excited to come to this beautiful station because it's where the film Brief Encounter was largely set. And when I was younger, my granny used to look after me and we'd sit in front of the 4-bar fire and watch old films, and it was one of her favourites, one of mine as well. Although it did give me a slightly unrealistic expectation of romance. You know, I thought when I fell in love, the person I was with would go, "I love you, Susan. I really love you. I love you so much, Susan."
It's a story of a passionate affair between two married strangers who meet at the station. Not your traditional rom-com. The exterior scenes of this Oscar-nominated film were shot right here, but the tea room sequences were filmed in a studio made to look in keeping with the station.
Hello.
Morning, Susan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
The whole station later fell into disrepair, but in 2003 it was restored to its former glory, and the tea room is now run by Andrea.
This is wonderful. What's it like, though, working in this beautiful tea room?
I think we all feel quite privileged, really, because it's such an iconic film.
I think it's very romantic, but actually it's really quite a sad film.
It is quite a sad film, because she was obviously
In a way.
very unhappy, wasn't she?
She was very unhappy,
Yeah.
but it's also like, it's like this tea room, it's like a little time capsule of what it was like at that point to fall in love, but with the wrong person at the wrong time.
Yeah.
A time when finding love didn't involve a dating app. Can you believe it?
Do you mind if I just have a wee wander around and look,
No, absolutely.
look around? Is
Have
that
a look
okay?
round, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and if you could just keep a couple of those cakes
Of
for me
course.
for later on.
Of course we will.
Not for me, obviously. It's,
No,
it's not
no,
for me,
obviously
but
not, no.
thanks very much
You're very
indeed,
welcome,
Andrea.
thank you.
Before I absolutely don't take any of those delicious cakes away with me, next door, the Heritage Centre plays the film on a loop in a mini cinema. My favourite bit is the heartbreaking final scene.
And in this whole goodbye, they don't kiss, they don't embrace, they don't touch in any way apart from once, when Trevor Howard places his hand on Celia Johnson's shoulder. And that's the goodbye in one of the greatest love stories ever filmed.
It just makes you wonder, could it ever be like that now? Or is romance in the modern world dead?
Stop! Love should be lived in the here and now. Love is for the two of you to live in the moment. Love is precious.
But of course, some love cannot be.
No, I can't. I can't. I must leave you. It'll never work. I love you.
Well, at least I can return to my true love.
So Helen and I have got a lot of miles under our belt. We've been up, we've been down, we've been east, we've been west. I mean, we've been right down to Land's End, actually. And I've been up to John O'Groats. I've never been right in the middle.
So that's exactly where I'm going. Around 25 miles southeast, through winding scenic roads into the Ribble Valley. An area of outstanding natural beauty, with a spot that makes a unique claim.
This beautiful village is Dunsop Bridge, and I've stopped here for a particular reason. Not just because it's beautiful, because it is. Because you see, Helen might be the centre of my world, but I am here, right now, apparently in the geographic centre of the UK. It's like one of those things you want to tick off, isn't it? I've been to the centre of the UK. Now I'm going over there, which is still the centre, just a bit to the left.
Well, it's the closest village to the centre of Britain. And rather conveniently, it's right next to a lovely-looking tea room.
I told you, right in the centre.
But I'm not buying treats for me.
Can I take a bag of duck food?
You certainly can.
Apparently, there are some locals I can make friends with.
Hey, ducky duckies. Hey, little ducks. Hey, duckies. Over here, guys. Here you go.
But the ducks don't seem keen.
Do you know what this is? You've had a party and you've spent ages making a finger buffet for your friends, and everyone goes, "We've already eaten, thanks very much." Because look, that's them off.
Seems it's time to make some different friends then. And I've heard about a place to do just that, in a small village community to the north of the Ribble Valley. So of course, Helen and I are there with bells on.
It's a beautiful sunny day, so I've parked Helen up and gone for a wander in this gorgeous village called Ray. And it is very beautiful. There's a few wee things I've noticed that make it a bit different.
And it's not just small curiosities.
So this is outside the local pub. I mean, it's massive for a start. I'm still not entirely sure what's happening.
In fact, these large effigies are all over the village.
They're everywhere.
And some are rather lifelike.
Where's that scarecrow going?
over 30 years, residents from Ray's 220 homes have raised money for local charities by putting on a 10-day Scarecrow Festival across April and May, bringing in around 16,000 visitors each year. Scarecrow Simon has been helping organise the event since moving to the village 12 years ago.
Hello. Now, I pursued you down the street. Do you enjoy dressing as a scarecrow?
Yes.
So, explain to me what the festival is then. Do people make scarecrows, or is it scarecrows that already exist that you put out every year? Tell me.
We have some giant scarecrows, which you've seen in the village.
Yes, they're brilliant.
And they come out every year. But then every home makes scarecrows.
And are they revealed on one day?
On the Saturday morning, and it's very, very secretive. Your neighbours won't talk to each other about their scarecrow. They'll meet in the pub, but you don't discuss your
It's like Fight Club, don't talk about the scarecrows.
You got it.
I would be right involved in it. My next door neighbours at home are my best friends. I would not talk to them about it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
And I love that. It's a secret, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
It must be a real sense of community, though.
Yeah, fantastic. Everybody knows everybody. And it is great community spirit. This keeps it alive.
As the start of the festival is just a few weeks away, Simon says I can get in on the action and make my very own mini scarecrow in the local village hall.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Susan.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Emma.
Emma.
Gabriella.
Gabriella.
Lorenzo.
And?
Rose.
Lovely. It's nice to meet you.
I think I'm in safe hands here.
Tell me how you make these lovely scarecrows.
So we cut out tops, trousers and dresses. We stuff them with hay and we pop them on a base with a dowel through, and then you can decorate as you wish. Wig, hats, buttons, belts.
Whatever you can find.
Whatever you can find.
Emma and the PTA make around 400 mini scarecrows to sell each year to raise around £2,000 for the local school.
How do I attach that to that?
There's a glue gun.
Hold on a second. Emergency measures. Glasses are going to have to come on.
Please be careful.
Try not to burn yourself.
My mum gives me as well. Susan, be careful.
It should be fairly simple to pop some glue into the base and stick the scarecrow on top, but I may be making it seem difficult.
This is really hard work.
It is.
Hard work for me anyway.
So just there?
Yeah.
But at least I've got expert help.
And now you pull it on.
Thank goodness you're here.
I think I might have nailed it, but it was definitely a team effort.
What's your favourite thing about making them?
I quite like doing the hair.
You do the hair. They are really adorable. So I plant a lot of things in my garden, and it'd be quite nice to have something that says, "Hey guys, not my peas." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, to
and
scare them
what says,
scallywags
hey
off.
guys, not my peas.
What
more
says,
than-
"Hey guys, not my peas," like this scarecrow.
I'm very pleased with mine, but there's no harm in trying to find out about the competition.
Are you making one this year?
Yes, but it's top secret.
So you're not even going to tell me, Gabriella, what you're making? No. From someone who's been chatty McChat face, suddenly, nothing is coming out of Gabriella's mouth. Thank you very much indeed for showing me how you make these great scarecrows, because they are very, very beautiful, and I will treasure this.
And what a fantastic way to bring the community together and raise money for the village. I just wish I could get more involved.
Scarecrow contest sounds brilliant. I mean, if I lived here, I wouldn't be competitive. I'm not really a competitive person. Do you know what I mean? Helen and I, we're not into that kind of thing at all. You know, oh, for goodness sakes, Helen.
Coming up, Helen and I try to earn some petrol money.
£20?
And I face one of Morecambe's rising stars.
You can take me on?
Yeah? Helen and I are on the road again in delightful Lancashire and Morecambe Bay. We're crossing southeast back down through the Ribble Valley to an enchanting area with a rather eventful past.
Lancashire is very, very beautiful, and there are several like really well-known beauty spots in the area, and I'm just about to come up to one here, which I've heard of certainly, which is Pendle Hill, and it should be coming up just here.
This magnificent mound of rock, standing just over 500 metres tall, has some of the county's best views and scenic walking trails. Just south of the hill, the village of Newchurch in Pendle is home to a rather curious establishment.
This is the kind of shop that I have to not bring my purse into, you know, so don't spend all my holiday money at one go.
But I'm not here for souvenirs. I'm after something in particular. In 1612, this area was gripped by the Pendle witch trial, one of the most infamous of its kind in Britain.
This book, called The Discovery of Witches, this is actually very, very important, kind of in a historical sense and a social sense. When the Pendle witches were on trial in Lancaster, the clerk of the court was instructed to write the notes of it. And that's why there's this kind of historical account of what happened.
This detailed record of the proceedings is the only official account of these trials, which claimed the lives of 11 people from the surrounding villages.
Hiya.
Hello,
I'm Susan. What's your name?
I'm Maureen.
Maureen. Lovely to
Maureen
meet
the
you.
Witch, or Granny Witch, you call me.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, yeah, no problem.
Maureen has owned the shop for over 40 years and has a keen interest in the area's history.
The problem with the word witch is that witch is a generic term for women who were perhaps not supernatural, but were using herbs and bits and pieces like that.
I don't believe that these are wicked, evil people. They were simple country folk. They're to rely on knowledge handed down from generation to generation as to what plant to use, what herb to use to cure someone.
Politics and religion played a huge part in the prosecution and persecution of innocent women deemed witches. It was a time of growing fear of witchcraft, and these so-called witches were often pawns in feuds between local families. At the Pendle trials, evidence was weak and relied heavily on a young girl's testimony.
It started, it was an accusation from a child.
Janet was a 9-year-old child. She decried a grandmother, a mother, a brother and a sister, and they were all hanged on her say. They had no defence whatsoever.
If I was alive back then, I'd probably have been accused of being a witch.
Most definitely.
A woman with a voice and an opinion. It's a fascinating part of history and a story about hysteria.
Yeah.
People now flock from all over the world to visit this historic spot to commemorate these women.
And something wonderful happened here on the 400th anniversary, didn't it?
A local hospice decided to get as many people as possible onto Pendle Hill dressed as witches. And Guinness Book of Records, they made a record.
A crowd of 482 helped earn the world record for the largest gathering of people dressed as witches. But sadly, they were beaten the following year by a group in Spain. So in September 2022, they tried to win the title back, with almost 1,900 assembling in a nearby village. But as some of these so-called witches didn't keep their hats on, they couldn't be counted. With this kind of commitment to the cause, though, I'm sure the record will be theirs again soon.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. Can I purchase this book?
Fine,
Is that okay?
thank you. There you go.
Thank you very much indeed, Maureen. Thanks for
you.
chatting to me.
Take care.
See you later on.
Bye-bye.
I do enjoy hearing all about an area's history, but I especially love immersing myself in its traditions.
Do you know what I really enjoy, as Helen and I travel around the country, is finding little local delicacies. I really want to find that. That's something that when I go home, people say, "Did you have anything nice to eat?" And I'll say, "Yes, you'll never believe what I managed to eat in Lancashire."
So we're parking up to make a little DIY snackette, despite the weather turning slightly damp.
So, what I have here is the fixings, if you will, for a special Lancashire cheese toastie. I've got beautiful crumbly Lancashire cheese, I've got Lancashire sauce, and I'm in Lancashire. Now, the reason why this cheese is apparently particularly good is its crumbly texture, and that means that it melts well. How much butter do you use, Susan? I think the question is there ever such a thing as too much butter? Answer, no. So I'm going to put the cheese on, and now this is Lancashire sauce. I think it's like a curry. So really I'm having a cheese and curry toastie. which is something when we holidayed in Scotland, I would only have dreamt of.
You might not use a pan to make a toastie, but I promise you, it's life-changing.
It's a gorgeous sizzle.
Brown it for a few minutes on either side, trying to keep as much of the cheese in the toastie as possible.
I mean, if you were at some form of music festival and there was a stall selling these, you'd go, that is worth £20.
Well, I'd be open to haggling, of course. But it's looking pretty darn good.
Love their cheese. I actually really like that. It's like a hug of cheese and curry on a plate. Very successful. £20?
Now Helen and I are raring to go, all ready for our next rather energetic encounter. We're returning to marvellous Morecambe, which isn't just famous for its comedians. It's also a hotspot for sporting legends too.
In our time, Helen and I have tried our hand at many a sport, you know, sometimes to some success, sometimes to what I like to call a valiant effort. And I always think, as long as you try your best, you can always be happy with yourself. That's what my mum always said. Did you try your best, Susan? I did. Well done.
And Morecambe's getting a name for one sport in particular, boxing. Its raft of fighting stars like Isaac Lowe, Tommy Fury and world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury have taken it to a different level. Trainer Bob Howard has been coaching some of Britain's best boxers for over 30 years and now also uses his gym to help the local community. Today he's taking on the challenge of training me for my very first fight.
Bob, pleasure to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too.
I'm all ready to go in the gym.
You ready to rock?
I know, I like that we're doing this already. What fascinates me is Morecambe is really quite famous for its boxing, isn't it? What do you think it is about the place that means that so many good fighters have come from here?
The coaches.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think when you start out with a good crop of young boxers, it brings other kids in the local area, which is, you know, deprived a little bit. You've got kids coming from them backgrounds who want to be something.
Bob uses his gym as a community hub, working with children from different backgrounds. He's also putting on classes to help with mental health. But he's not the only one doing their bit for the area.
So what's Tyson's association with this gym?
Tyson's been coming to this gym since he's lived in Morecambe, really. He's helped out when we have shows. He comes, gives the trophies out. He's come in the gym many times, do a few sessions, you know, coach the lads on a little bit. He's recently bought us new kit.
And it's something I really admire, which is not just coming and training here, but also putting something back into the local community for something that's helped him such a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I've done some boxing before, but I've not properly sparred with anyone in my life. So Bob's offered to give me a few pointers.
Now, one of my problems is I've got tiny hands. Look, I'll show you. Look how tiny my hands are compared to your hands.
Yeah.
Is that going to restrict me from my boxing dream, having tiny hands?
No, not at all.
Hand size might not matter, but there are quite a few other things that do if I'm to stand a chance in the ring.
You've got to have good balance, good posture, footwork, bit of skill, movement. Yeah, you've got to have a big heart as well. Yeah.
And like my mum says, you need to try your best. Cue training montage.
Let's go.
Watch out, Morecambe. There's a new competitor in town.
Do you think I'm ready?
I've got a big guy here today that you can fight.
Over there?
Yeah, let's
go.
go.
Go on.
In the red corner, an aspiring cruiserweight contender. And in the blue corner, Susan, the Destroyer Calman.
Sorry, just get off this. Sorry, mate. Back in a minute.
Brother of both Tyson and Tommy, Roman is the youngest of the Fury brothers to take to the ring.
Fancy yourself a bit of a boxer, do you?
I'm not bad, so I'd watch yourself.
You can take me on, yeah? A small, middle-aged Glaswegian woman.
Probably my toughest opponent yet, you know, I don't know.
I tell you what, I am taking you down. This is happening. Yeah, yeah. Nothing like a low centre of gravity.
Ooh.
All right, let's do it. OK.
I promise no Furies were harmed in the making of this programme. Coming up, I channel Brian Blessed.
Did you have the voice, Morecambe?
I did!
And it's my turn to tread the boards. I'm on the final leg of my grand day out around lovely Lancashire and Morecambe Bay.
Morning. Morning. Hello. Hiya. The dog just growled at me. Quite right.
I'm sticking with magnificent Morecambe, which has already welcomed me with open arms.
Someone yesterday left this little note on the windscreen of Helen. Dear Susan, not sure if you're staying overnight here. If you are, there's a WI meeting in the village hall at 7:30 p.m. with a talk about Morecambe Bay and the tides. Feel free to come. There's always good cakes. Now, isn't that lovely? A complete stranger has invited me out to make sure I'm OK. So I couldn't go, sadly, but I'll treasure this. And it really sums up what it's like round here. There's always a welcome, and there's always cakes.
Another place that demonstrates this strong community spirit is Morecambe's Winter Gardens. It was the place to be in its heyday, not just for its seawater baths, bars, restaurants and ballroom, but the theatre in this Victorian complex played host to everyone, from The Who to Shirley Bassey and, of course, Morecambe and Wise. Thankfully, the theatre still remains, which is being restored by a group of dedicated and skilled volunteers.
Hello.
Hello.
Including 80-year-old Bernie, who's hard at work French polishing the ticket booth.
Tell me about these beautiful winter gardens.
I used to come with my mother, and we used to see the turns, the acts,
yeah.
And the artists used to appear at Blackpool from Monday to Saturday, and they would come through to the Winter Gardens on a Sunday. And they used to do 2 Sunday concerts.
So you could see all the big acts from
Yes,
Blackpool.
very much so, yeah. Shirley Bassey, yeah, Matt Monro.
Really?
Yes, indeed, yeah. They've all appeared here.
I always think these places are such a piece of history, but could still be enjoyed today.
It'd be lovely to see a revival.
Yes.
The Winter Gardens' 2 main buildings could hold crowds of up to 6,000 people. But after a decline in UK-based seaside holidays, profits sank, and by 1982, it closed. The theatre, once known as the Albert Hall of the North, still stands and is now getting the attention it deserves.
Oh, wow.
Its auditorium has a spectacular ornamental ceiling with a roof span of 118 feet and is still one of the largest in the country.
I love these kinds of theatres because you can feel the history just oozing out of every single pore of it. Legends have been on that stage. You've had your George Formby's. John Gielgud has been on that stage. And I think there's a little part of me that wanted to get into comedy because of my granny talking about how magical the nights were in the music halls. And you can feel it.
There are many from the local community working tirelessly to restore this Grade 2 listed building to the glory experienced by some of the biggest stars of stage and screen. Retired plumber Malcolm is another of the committed volunteers.
So, did you used to come here?
I did. As a little boy, I used to sit on the front row with my mum.
Uh-huh.
I've been very lucky to be in 2 pantomimes here. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What were you in the
tremendous.
panto?
Well, I was a king.
Oh.
Loosely played like Brian Blessed.
Did you have the voice, Morecambe?
I did!
Brilliant!
To help bring both amateur and professional acts back to the stage here, a trust was set up to campaign for funding. And just recently, they received over £3 million towards the costly renovations.
It must have taken a huge amount of work just to get it to the state where you could start looking at whether the building was in a decent shape.
That's right. We're two little old ladies that used to help us, and they used to take rubble in carrier bags to the tip. And I used to say to them, how are you going to get that out of your car? She says, we're not a nice young man at the tip's going to help us do it.
It's a proper team, and at the centre of it is the love for this place. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's a really personal thing. Well, it must be for you to all volunteer time.
Joined at the hip with this place.
Just like another of the volunteers helping out today.
Hiya! Beside the seaside, beside the sea. Oh,
well done,
and a
Susan.
great double act was born.
As the perfect end to the perfect trip, I've asked organist Peter to play my favourite tune. With a little help from just some of the extraordinary volunteers rebuilding this historic landmark.
Peter, we're all ready. I want you to play all the right notes, hopefully in the right order. Take it away.
Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness.
I started out on this journey wanting to find out what was at the core of this county. And it's not only its stunning scenery, it's the heartwarming camaraderie, beautiful people, and incredible sense of community.
Bring me love.
That was right.
Thank you very
that
much.
was
Well
pretty
done,
good.
Peter. It did feel like at the end it was going to go, bring me love. Thank you, Morecambe.
Next time, I'm celebrating all things countryside. Helen and I have a new adventure. And there's a Calman mega mix, as I remember some of our wonderful countryside trips together.
You get quite fast. You get quite...
The great British countryside has never let us down.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing.
With its glorious views.
Wow.
And its wonderful characters. It's a memorable collection of grand days out.